Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 239 is brought to you by Nigis of Haven and Andreas Gents, some of our amazing Patreon supporters. This episode is also possible thanks to our producers, Lindsay, For the Whim, Tab, Lazy Villager Megan Leslie, and Young Old Loose. This week, Nina and I are celebrating Father's Day by covering the fathers in Animal Crossing. So to begin, hello Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just started day 1 of Harry Potter camp. So 9 more days to go.
Awesome. So fun. Harry Potter camp is, do you know going into it, like what you're going to sort everybody as?
Oh yeah, I have to write a script about their qualities before they come, and we send out surveys to the parents of being what's your first and second choice house, if they if your kid has a an affinity towards the house, but no promises.
It's because they all put Gryffindor, right?
Yeah, we actually have 2 Gryffindor houses in camp. We have Gryffindor Red and Gryffindor Gold.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't know. It's all about the Hufflepuff.
Well,
I've done the Gryffindor thing. Hufflepuff's way better.
Yes. We have, Ravenclaw always has enough kids, but we have to combine Slytherin into Slitherpuff. So that's the house I'm in charge of, the Slitherpuffs.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they wouldn't get along.
Oh, they totally get along. Behind every great Hufflepuff is a Slytherin ready to pounce.
Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Then, okay, since I'm in a questiony mood here today, Nina, I'll kick off the icebreakers.
Okay.
My question for you is, what's your favorite day of the year?
Oh, wait, I used to have this memorized, and now I don't. The best day of the year. Oh, no, what is it? June 24th. Is that what it is? Because it's not too hot.
I don't remember.
And not too cold. All you need is a light sweater. April 24th? What is it? Oh, no, now I have to look it up.
Yeah, but I want your favorite day.
My favorite day of the whole entire year?
Mm-hmm. All of the year.
I'm a big fan of Halloween. I also enjoy Christmas Eve a lot because of my family's crazy parties that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I just like regular old days where I'm not doing anything also.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd
say, okay, let's break it down for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite month?
I guess it is October. I like colder weather.
Uh-huh. I agree. And now what's your favorite number between the numbers of 1 and 31?
31?
Yeah.
I guess it's the 13th?
October 13th. There you go. Favorite day of the year.
Yeah.
Tried and true method to determining your favorite day of the year.
April 25th. That's the date from Miss Congeniality. April 25th.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm torn between October and November. They're both
November.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I get a whole week off for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. I think the one disappointing thing is I felt like autumn didn't start soon enough in Animal Crossing. I wish things were just a little bit more red in October, and dry and that
I do
sort of
love
thing.
Turkey Day in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Turkey Day is wonderful.
Well, maybe I just need to not. Maybe that'll be my answer.
Turkey Day changes.
Yeah, that's
true. Which is cool. Yeah, that's a fun
I
one.
like I like the dog show for Thanksgiving. I always watch the dog show.
That's cool.
Why is this such a hard question?
Because I'm here asking the tough questions, Nina. What's yours? What's your question?
My question. So I am so excited because on Thursday, the 16th, I think that's Thursday, the Werewolves pack for Sims 4 comes out.
Oh.
I can't wait. So my question to you, Chuy, is if you were a were animal, what were animal would you be?
Man, okay. We talked about them last week.
Did we?
But you made me die, apparently.
What?
Sea turtles are incredible.
Oh, you didn't make it
I
past
would
the
be like
surf.
I didn't make it past the surf, but if I could be a were sea turtle, full grown already, and ready to combat ready sea turtle.
But if you were near the water.
Yeah, I'd turn into a were sea turtle.
What if you were on
Near the
land?
water. Then I guess I'd just be me.
Oh, okay.
I guess can I control it? I can't.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know. I haven't played the game yet. It hasn't come out. But I guess traditionally you don't control it. So you just have to find the ocean once a month. That's all.
Mhm. Yeah, I think outside of that, I guess something with like sweet parkour skills. Squirrels, they got sweet parkour skills, you
Yeah.
know. They can
Yeah.
really get around.
They can.
So that would be pretty cool. Yeah, land creature. Also, we made friends with our old squirrel neighbors at
Yeah.
our old place. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, but Mama got real mad at us one day when we were moving and we had all our like a moving truck thing in front of the place, and she
Yeah.
was just like yelling at us the entire time. She was like, "What are you doing? This is my space. You can't get out of here."
Squirrel yells crack me up.
Yeah, they were real angry. But yeah, probably that. If I'm near the ocean, I'd be where sea turtle.
Okay.
And I guess on land, where squirrel. Though squirrels, unfortunately, because I looked into this, I was like, how long do squirrels live? The answer is they are not going to make it very long because of their habitats.
Well, yeah, they get eaten by a lot of different stuff too.
Eaten, run over, fall from trees.
Oh my gosh.
There's all sorts of things taking squirrels out.
Storms, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's lots of things taking sea turtles out also, apparently.
Apparently.
You need to be like a were rhino.
Yes, that would actually be really awesome. That wouldn't be too bad. I love rhinos.
Yeah, that would be cute.
I'm gonna get rhinos in my Animal Crossing town. I want all of them. I guess
get
I already
Tank.
do. Azalea's
the
there.
Boy.
Yeah, I like Spike too.
Oh,
His little
yeah.
scar.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty great. All right, well, let's get into Animal Crossing here. Father's Day is coming up. As promised, we have a very special Father's Day question for our patrons that they've answered since last week. We skipped it.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a good week to skip after trivia. Hopefully you all had fun with that. I should have told people to like pause it and then think about the answers and then I don't know, have fun with it.
See if you could beat us. Because we didn't do great.
Yeah, so if you didn't listen to last week's, go back and listen to it. Do some Animal Crossing trivia. It was really great. We had Edwin over running it, and it was awesome. But yeah, so we saved our Father's Day discussion for today. It's you know, with Animal Crossing, it's just one of those days that always rolls around, and some special things happen sometimes, and other times not so much. But we wanted to talk specifically about like the fathers of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
The characters we know are fathers in the game. There's several of them. There's plenty to go around, and we'll have some fun stories, some sad stories, some medium road stories, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get into it. And Nina, thank you so much for filling in the info for a lot of these characters, all of these characters.
I'm good at a Google.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to kick us off here? With the
I
first
can
one?
start with Chip, who's our first father. So Chip is a kind of brownish grayish beaver who likes to wear like a royal blue fishing vest that's trimmed in green. He likes to say "nyuk nyuk." That's like his catchphrase, which I think is like, it's almost like a Goofy laugh, like how Goofy like guffaws, but I'm not good at making that noise. Can you make
I
the
can't.
noise?
I always think of the Goofy movie. Just it's a constant in my life. Like that
Yeah.
movie's always it lives rent free in my brain,
Mhm.
right? And I can't tell you how many times this past week I've felt like going, yuck.
Yeah, that's like what I feel like he's saying.
That's like the sassy Max character, Goofy's son.
Yeah.
That's how he says it. He's like, "Oh, I totally choked. Yuck."
Plus, you got Powerline in that movie.
Oh man, Powerline.
Yeah.
Dope. I want to go to a Powerline concert.
There's heart. You find we're never too far apart. It's so good.
Best song ever.
Yeah.
Best, greatest song. And you got to do the perfect cast dance.
You got to
too.
dance to it. Apparently, if you go to Disney and you do the perfect cast dance for Goofy, he'll do it with you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna go learn it and then go to Disney right now.
Where were we?
We're talking about Chip, I guess. Nyuk,
nyuk. Yeah, nyuk nyuk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in Population Growing, Animal Forest, and Animal Forest E+, Chip has fishing tourneys that kind of work all the same. So they're on Sundays in June and November, and he sets up a little tent outside of Town Hall where if you bring him fish, like catch some fish, he will measure the fish by size through eating them in inch increments. So don't get attached to your fish when Chip is around. He will only tell you the fish size after you've given it to him and he has eaten it. So it's really tricky to do these fishing tourneys because you kind of have to order your fish to their size or by size in your pockets. So, which it tells you when you catch the fish, but then you can't like click on the fish and look at the size. So you have to like, it's just bizarre.
In no game does it ever do that.
Yeah.
Like it tells you the one time and then it's like, nope, nobody cares about this information. And so it's literally up to you to follow it and write it down.
So it becomes like a weird like matching game where you have to try and remember who is what size and where you put them in your pockets and then give them to Chip in order so that you get more and more prizes. Because if the fish you give him is bigger than the last fish you give him, then he gives you a prize. So you could get lots of prizes in a row if they're in the correct order. It's bizarre.
Yeah. Which is hard. It's so hard to keep track of.
And he gobbles those fish right up. He eats
right in front
all
of
day
your
long.
face.
Yeah. He's a big round boy though, so he needs his mercury. It's good for him. Okay. He does not appear in Wild World. So we're going to skip that one. But then in City Folk, his fishing tourneys are one Saturday a month, again, except for June through September. So there's lots of times you can see him in City Folk. And these tourneys were like type based for the fish. So he'd be like, bring me all your sea bass. And you'd have to bring him sea bass and he'd just measure the sea bass or just measure the dabs or whatever. Again, he would eat them in front of you and you would not get them back. So don't get attached to your fish. Then in New Leaf, things change a little bit. He sets up tent in the event plaza instead of the town hall. And he's back to taking all types of fish by size. Unless you like bring him like a whale shark or something enormous, then he'll be like, oh, I'm saving this for later. He's so excited. But he's not going to eat it in front of you. And you would get the best, like the fish furniture you would get from him in New Leaf were super cute.
Both the fish and like the bug furniture, which we'll get to a little bit later. Those sets are great. That's like the set that we need back. Forget
that would be cool.
Green set, blue set, those series furnitures, give us the fish.
And I remember really enjoying the fish wallpaper particularly. So I'd like that one to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You could also compete against your villagers in New Leaf. So at 6 o'clock at the end of the tourney, if you entered his tent, there'd be like a little ceremony where he would hand out trophies. But, and if you miss the ceremony, he'll mail you your trophy. But these villagers were like notorious in New Leaf for turning in huge catches within like the last 10 minutes of the tournament. Like if you only had time to fish from like 1 to 2 on a certain day of a fishing tourney, you're going to lose. You're not going to get gold, even if you have the biggest fish you've ever seen, because one of those villagers sneaks right in at the end. So like I would have to turn in my fish. I'd like wait until there was 10 minutes left and then just start turning in fish so that I could get a gold trophy. It was hard.
Yeah, and that one especially, I felt like you really had to organize them because you get prizes as you go, and so you want to try to get the entire set. So you're like, all right, gotta have enough fish, gotta make sure they're bigger than whatever the last thing they caught was, and then just like give them back to back to back so you can keep getting prizes. And so it was a process for sure. But that ceremony, I love that they added that aspect to it, just that you could actually go. After the first couple, I'd say I would start skipping it because
you only need to see it a couple of times.
And you could do it basically any time after 6 too, and then if you just was gone by the end of the day, you could see it later. Well, get the prize, right? And I love that. Because every time when you would lose, you'd be like, oh, I can't believe this.
Because there was a 4th place, wasn't there? Where you were just standing next to the podium. It's incredible.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker. That's happened to me. You will lose. These animals, they have nothing better to do. This is their entire life that they're living right now. So they're going to be fishing. And probably eating some of those fish along the way, too. So.
And I'm pretty sure if you did get 4th place and we're just standing next to the podium, Chip would just say something like, oh, thanks for participating, but try again next time. He's like a little condescending about it. I love it. All right. Well, in New Horizons, we have a change that happens. We no longer see Chip, unless of course you scan him in, but he's instead replaced by his confirmed son, CJ, which a lot of people think stands for Chip Jr. I'd like to point out that the Japanese name for CJ is Justin Beaver.
Yeah, I think that's the Canadian name too.
And the Canadian name? That's incredible.
Yeah, the Canadian name is Justin.
Justin Beaver.
It's perfect.
It's so cute. So if you scan in Chip, he brings along CJ, which is so cute. But if you scan in CJ, he brings in his partner Flick, also cute. But they'll talk about like being a father and son. They'll kind of talk about Flick and his dad's relationship, which we'll get into also. And then the two of them will talk about being roommates and things. It's super cute.
Yeah, I really like, and we saw a bit of a trend with this, right? Where a lot of the newer characters in New Horizons are just like offspring of some of the older ones. Like, I'm almost surprised, like, we got Kapp'n and not Layla running the little boating job,
That would have been so cute if they had aged her up a little bit and put her in that boat, and it was like a cute pink boat with stickers all over it, because that's like totally her vibe. I think that'd be so cute.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe one day we'll see that, but I guess they're just not ready to get rid of Kapp'n yet,
Yeah.
And to be fair, Kapp'n's still pretty fun.
Yeah, but he could sell like nautical things or something. I don't know. We'll find a job for him. He's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, maybe one day when they add a whole island where we could maybe play video game or little mini games or something. I don't know, Nintendo, if you're thinking about doing that at any point.
Come on, Nintendo. We're ready for our next game.
hmm And I also wanted to point out there's this really fun thing. I mean, kind of fun, kind of sad that it ended up being as true as it was. But early on, when New Horizons was coming out, there was a whole there was a page on the listing for the Target game, right? So if you bought New Horizons at Target, there was a bonus that you could get. It was a little like journal calendar thing, right?
Oh.
Like an agenda, basically. And that agenda, they showed like a few pages of it, and CJ was a name that popped up on one of those pages.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, very early on, we had seen the name CJ. It'd been a bit of a mystery about who it
Mm-hmm.
was. I think I early on guessed that it was like Chip Jr. or
Mm-hmm.
something. But the other thing that kind of happened with that reveal was like, oh, because at the time I was looking at a lot of the characters and their birthdays and stuff, and specifically for because I was making the calendar right for
Yeah.
Haken. And when I looked at it, I was like, there's some special characters who should have birthdays in this month who are not in here.
Mm.
And the assumption from there was easily like, oh, they're not coming back. They're not going to be in this game. And I was like, I mean, I think at the time Sergio and I were very positive of like, no, I mean, even if they're not at the beginning, they'll probably be in there by the end. And, to some extent, a lot of them did make an appearance by the
Yeah.
end of it. There's definitely some who are only amiibo scan-ins, so they don't
Yeah.
quite exist. But yeah, I think that was an unfortunate thing where it was like, oh, cool, new character, but also no one's coming back. This is it.
Is that the same notebook where we got like super pixelated images of Flick and CJ early on too? Or was
I
that from something different?
I think that might have come from something different.
Okay.
And it might have been like I don't remember where those ones. I know exactly which ones you're talking about. I
Yeah.
don't remember where those came from.
Those were so much fun. I remember like
Yeah.
trying to draw them from their like 3 pixel images. It was so much fun.
I think they were like stickers or something.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I don't remember. I wish I remembered.
Yeah.
Um,
That's okay.
but yeah, CJ first appearance in that notebook, and I guessed that it was Chip Jr. at the
Chip
beginning.
Jr. Who else?
And funny enough, I feel like it hasn't been confirmed, but I feel like it's Chip Jr. Right?
Yeah, I think so. Because
Yeah.
it's definitely not, Justin.
Mm-hmm. Justin's still great. So let's talk about Nat,
Mm-hmm.
the next character here. Green chameleon with yellow eyes, who wears a khaki safari outfit. That's man, that takes me back to the beginning of New Horizons. I think that was like I was always dressed up as a little explorer
Oh,
at the beginning of the
really?
game.
Aw.
Yeah, it was fun. He's also got glasses, a blue bug catching accessory, and blue bug catching accessory. Sorry, and then you have a little quote from him here, right?
Yeah,
Hunt
based
bugs in
off
the
of
field, hunt bugs in the hills, hunt bugs in the streets. You must never surrender.
yeah, which I think is a Churchill pun.
Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah, and bugs are everywhere, so I'm sure you can find them
Yeah.
all the time. So interestingly enough, Nat is not in the first game, right?
Yeah.
So completely skipping over that one. That doesn't exist for Nat. But Wild World, City Folk, and New Leaf, Nat would start doing the bug catching contest. So they were the third Saturday of June, July, August, September. So the summer months, you can
Mhm.
say. Or I think now in New Horizons, that's reversed for everybody in the southern hemisphere. So the summer months fall along some other months. I don't know
Yeah.
them right now. But Nat will rate bugs by his own discretion, noting size, rarity, luster, and color. Many of these are invisible to the player, and anytime a bug hits a new high score, Nat gives an insect set furniture piece to the player, which Those are also, that's such a good set.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
they're even better than the fish set.
I think so too. I think they've got so many cool, cute designs that I'm just like, yes, bring all of these back. These are
Hmm.
the forgotten designs of Animal Crossing, you know?
100%. They're so good.
And I think just like Chip, in New Leaf at least, I think you would also get kind of a whole ceremony at the end, right? When you
Yes.
won?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so another little ceremony to go through in that one, and definitely, I don't remember if it was as hard as the fishing one where you could get destroyed by the
Right.
villagers.
But also
um,
like his judging made no sense. So it was harder in that the villagers weren't as into it, but also
mm,
like you could catch the super rare bug, and if it's like invisible number of luster is not
hmm
as nice as like this grasshopper you found, you're not getting as many points like as the grasshopper. It's bizarre. I never understood it.
Yeah, and I just remembered why this one was so much easier. It's like you could cheese this
Oh
one.
yeah.
It's the summer months. The big bugs on the palm trees are all over the
Mhm.
place,
Mhm.
especially if you go and, manipulate your little island on the minigame island to
Yeah.
to just spawn those things. And you're gonna have a lot easier time with the bugs in this,
Yeah,
especially
catch
in New
those guys the
Leaf.
night before and you were good to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah, just spend the whole night doing that, and you're not gonna run into any problems. You should win pretty easily.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, a little bit harder in the older ones, I guess, but it's still the summer months where the big bugs are like really out there. So
Yeah.
not the most difficult time. Whereas like the fishing one, it's different times of year that
Yeah,
you're
it's
running into
tricky.
that. So you never know what the selection's gonna be. Um, yeah. And then New Horizons revealed that Nat has a son, goes by the name of Flick. Really, really great character. It is referenced many times that Flick does not get along well with his father because they have different philosophies on the treatment of bugs. And you kind of mentioned this earlier with scanning them in. If you scan in Flick, he will bring along CJ. If you scan in Nat, he will bring along Chip.
Mm.
So a very clear relationship dilemma here. They don't
Yeah.
quite get along. I think from the little bits of information that are there in the dialogue, I feel like their relationship is kind of tragic. You know.
Well, Nat mentions throughout the entire bug off how delicious bugs are. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't eat them in front of you like Chip does, but he tucks them away in his pocket and he's like, "Oh, this one is going to be, magnificent." Like there's heavy hinting of him eating all of the bugs. And we know that Flick talks about, how bugs are so beautiful and, they're like uh, carriers of his soul, and
Mm-hmm.
he just wants to turn them into beautiful pieces of art. Well, not turn them into, but he wants to make beautiful pieces of art, inspired by their beauty. So probably he gets mad at his dad for eating all the bugs, eating his friends.
Yeah. Yeah. They've just got those different views about how bugs should be treated and
Hmm.
everything. And unfortunately, I don't think Nat's gonna change that anytime soon.
No.
And so yeah, there's definitely a lot of division between the two. And
Hmm.
yeah, to the point where like, I worry about Flick in this one because I mean, Nat's not eating these bugs in front of us. He's probably eating them in front of Flick. So
Yeah.
I get the
Well,
feeling there's some sort of like trauma there.
and Flick I have like this little screenshot pulled up of Flick talking to the player next to CJ in the roost. And he says, "I hear that CJ comes here with his dad. But I don't see that happening with me and mine." So it almost sounds like he's a little sad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he just really likes that CJ and his dad get along, but
Yeah. Yeah.
he's found his own CJ instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're great. They're great together. They're doing awesome things. They're roommates for sure, and definitely in love.
Yeah, 100%.
The fun thing I wanted to say about Nat, I kind of spoiled this during the trivia episode, so I'm gonna spoil it again here.
Go for it.
Nat will appear in New Horizons if you have the DLC. So though Chip does not appear, at least I haven't run into him yet. Maybe it will happen a little bit more down the line in the DLC, but Nat does appear to teach a class at the island in Happy Home Paradise. So, I don't know how long it's been for some of you who've gone through it, but those random classes you'll get at the school that you build in Happy Home Paradise. I want to say it's maybe like 33 rooms done.
Okay.
Nat will show up and teach you how to use bugs in your design. So basically, you'll have bugs that you can put in the environment. I like to put the little dragonflies so they fly around in my design. So that's one of the ways that they can that they show up. It's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah, I was very surprised when it happened. Like I walked on the island and I was like, "What is this? Why are you here?" And then I talked to them and he's like, "Oh, I'm looking for the school. I got to teach a class on bugs." And I was like, "I'll take your class."
I love it. I love
it.
Yeah,
really cool. Really cool.
I really have a fondness for these two papas. They're just sweet. They're good. They're good guys, I think.
Yeah, and pretty hilarious, honestly. There's not a lot of talk in the modern Animal Crossing about the eating that happens, the food, the lore behind how these animals live, right? Yeah. It's been completely taken out of the Franklin storyline, everybody's favorite turkey for Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Nobody really talks about eating him anymore. So.
Yeah, that's true. He is a little nervous the whole time, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah. It's sensitive topic.
Yeah, it's, a past trauma.
Yeah. Well, you want to tell us about the next dad?
Yeah, our next dad is Kapp'n, who thankfully is less creepy than he was in old games. I'm really enjoying him in New Horizons. But Kapp'n is a green and yellow kappa who is fond of Hawaiian shirts and transportation. He so I think we've talked about what a kappa is in a past episode, but it's like a Japanese water monster. They're pretty creepy, so I think it's under the do not Google it category, unless you're older. Anyways, he was first. He is a man of many transportation jobs. In Animal Force E+, he is a sailor who will take players to the island.
And Animal Crossing, the GameCube English one, yeah. The way he appeared, though, was a little bit tricky for a lot of people. You had to specifically get like one of those adapters that lets you connect your Game Boy Advance to your GameCube. And so when you would connect your, Game Boy Advance, he would then show up in the bottom right acre of the town. There's a little dock there. And yeah, he'll take you to this special island, which was amazing. And if you went over at the right time, you would see like a giant whale shadow under you in the ocean.
What? Is it a top-down?
Yeah, it's all the top-down kind of view from Animal Crossing, right? So you'll see the water underneath you, and sometimes you'll see that big whale shadow. Apparently, you sometimes see Pascal swimming across there, but I don't think I'd ever seen that. So I can't remember. I can't even remember if Pascal's in that first game. Maybe.
Man, I want them to be best friends.
I know. They'd be great friends.
Yeah. Okay, so in Wild World, he is a taxi driver who introduces the player to the game. He kind of takes over Rover's job in that one. And in the movie, too, he's a taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
In City Folk, he is a bus driver who takes you to the city, and also he's there driving the bus at the start of the game, but I don't think you talk to him. I think you still talk to Rover.
Mm-hmm.
New
Yeah, I
Leaf,
believe it is Rover.
yeah, he's on the bus with you. New Leaf, he's back to his boat. I'm sure he's very happy to be off the land. So his boat, after like I think day 3, he starts showing up, and Tortimer tells you to go talk to a person at the dock, and he's there to take you. Oh no, Isabel tells you there's someone at the dock. I think.
I forget who tells you.
Or Tortimer. Oh, you have to meet Tortimer at the dock. Isn't that it? And then he's like, I
Oh,
want to invite you to my island. There'll be a boat here
yeah.
tomorrow. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
So then Kapp'n shows up with his boat, and he takes you back and forth to Tortimer Island. And this is when we get his beautiful songs. Did he sing in Animal Forest?
He always sang,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Fun fact, there was a really great video done by Boundary Break. It's one of their region break series. But he actually sang a different song in the Japanese game. And that song
Ooh.
eventually got turned into Marine Song 2001.
Yeah.
That's that KK Slider song.
Okay.
So KK's doing covers now. He's doing covers of Kapp'n's songs.
That's incredible.
So yeah, that song remains. It's been continued through the history of the game, but yeah, initially, he had just different little tunes that he would sing depending
Very
on the region.
cute. Well, and
Mm-hmm.
now he just sings the same song, but he changes the words, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes you to Tortimer Island, and there you can meet his entire family. He's got his wife, Leilani, who's there to introduce you to all the games you can play on Tortimer Island. He's got his
Mm-hmm.
baby girl, Layla, whose first word was ahoy. We learned last week.
Perfect.
She's a hustler. She is out there for
Oh
your
yeah.
money and is ruthless. I love her so much. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
grown-up Layla would be good friends with Red. They would work together.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Then there's Grandma Grams, who sells island items using island currency you can get from playing the games, and that was always some good stuff, and some bushes you could get too from her, and flowers.
Yeah.
I loved Tortimer Island. I miss it.
Yeah, so many cool little things. And even like special things that you could only get from there. Like all of
Yeah.
the mermaid furniture was strictly there,
Mhm.
So
The
really cool.
even the bathing suit, the what's it called? Diving suit.
Oh yeah, you could only get
Wetsuit.
that on the island.
And it was a lot. It was like 50 coins or something like that, so you had to really work for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um then in New Horizons, he is back to his motorboat again and takes you to the Mystery Islands. He was added in a later update, so we were all happy to see him. We had docks. We had empty docks for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody was like, "What is this dock for if Kapp'n's not gonna be on it?"
Exactly. Other than catching
Mm-hmm.
dockfish.
Yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, really happy to have him back. He's definitely much improved from New Leaf, at least.
Yeah, definitely. He's
Yeah.
a cutie guy now. I like him.
Yeah, and I guess we should say too, like a lot of the subjects of his song are definitely about his family too. So
Yeah.
mhm.
And then I think on one side of his boat, down on the little wall, you can see drawings by his daughter.
Yeah, those
So
have
cute.
remained. It's so great. All right. Well, there's one more father that we should talk about, and this one is your own dad in the game. You have a mom, you have a dad. Surprisingly enough, you always forget about them because it's a one-way relationship here where really it's mostly just your mom sending you letters. Outside of that, nothing. you know? So yeah, I guess the dad's appearance on these, he only writes you on Father's Day, and not even in all of the games. just a couple of them. So
Yeah.
on Father's Day, he'll say something like, "See, your mom isn't the only writer in the family," and in that's about it.
That's
Just
it.
pointing out that he can write letters and put them in a sassy little note for you.
He's a backseat dad.
Backseat dad for sure. So anyways, in City Folk and New Leaf, you will receive a red carnation from him. And these come in handy, especially if you want to like breed I think the white carnations. Your mom will give you pink, your dad will give you red. You can breed for the white. And I personally just bred a lot of red ones, so I could have all red flowers in my town in Animal Crossing. I remember whenever I played, people would be like, "Why are you destroying all the flowers in your town?" And I'd be like, "I'm just destroying all the ones that aren't red."
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You had a
want
theme
red
going.
flowers.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. It was a red theme. And yeah, I guess the Animal Crossing wiki says that in New Leaf, the dad will write randomly to the players sometimes, just like mom, sending random items as gifts. Nina, like you, I don't remember this at all.
I have no memory of this. It must have been very few and far between.
Mm-hmm. I just don't feel like I've ever seen that happen in my game.
We're gonna have to pay more attention when we start New Leaf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, should we do just a quick honorable mention?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because there is one more father in the game, but we weren't going to add him because we've done a deep dive on him already. Specifically, I think, talking about his relationship with the Able sisters. But sweet Tom Nook, who is not the villain, but is a hero of the Animal Crossing series, adopted little Timmy and Tommy into his home. Found them on the side of the street in the rain, took them under his little tanuki tail, and grew them up right.
Yeah, I think there's like different references as to what their relationship is. I think most commonly it's like they're his nephews,
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't know. He's definitely a father figure for them. He teaches them how to con people out of their hard-earned money, as was seen in my playthrough of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. The kids took a little seminar with Tom Nook at one point, and then right after that seminar, they took all of Kick's money.
That's incredible.
They took him for all he had.
I love it.
It was tragic for him.
Look, we found out just now that Uncle Tendo is actually Tom Nook.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because he's an uncle.
Yeah, Uncle Tendo. But yeah, definitely a father figure. Of course, he's very trusting of the boys at this point. They've gone on to, run the shop on their own.
And they're super cute in the little Japanese comics that came out before the game release or just after the game release. Those little black and white, like pencil drawn comics that were so cute. They have the most adorable relationship, like back and forth together in these comics, which made me love them, all the Nooks, even more. It's just so cute. So if you haven't seen those, you should definitely try and Google them. I don't even know how to Google them, but try.
Yeah, I think they were just like on Twitter, like randomly.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if they did official translations of them. I think they came out like in Japanese and then other people translated them and turned them into, just English versions. So
yeah, I think we made Tab translate for us in the Discord.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are amazing. Definitely look at those.
Yeah.
I guess that's all of the fathers/father figures for everybody. I don't know if we missed any, but I think, there's a good amount of them in this game, and it's nice to see how those relationships have a lot of differences for sure.
Yeah, I like that. They show a wide variety of relationships.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and end this show with our Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here for all of you. This week's question, / last week's question, since we delayed it a bit, this one was, who do you want your adoptive father to be in Animal Crossing? So yeah, I mean, I left it pretty open-ended for anybody to pick anyone they wanted. So how about we just switch back and forth? Nina, do you want to start?
Sure. Our first one is Kelly Ketchum, who says, Butch. He's so cool and definitely gives me dad vibes. I can see him making tea for us to drink together in the mornings while he reads the newspaper. So sweet. Oh my gosh. That's like some Uncle Iroh vibes right there. I love it.
Oh man, Iroh. Greatest dad.
Yeah.
Greatest uncle. The next answer is from Tayan, who, this is honestly surprised me. Butch as well.
Whoa.
He randomly showed up on my island one day, and he's had a soft spot ever since. He reminds me a lot of my grandpa, which makes him that much better. I get sad when I visit him and he's sick. I always keep some medicine next to his home. He also has the biggest yard. Totally not picking favorites.
So sweet.
Yeah, I love that two people mentioned Butch, and immediately it made me think of Quantrell, because Quantrell has been a Butch fan forever.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm.
Oh, so sweet. Well, Sasha505 says, Phineas. Oh, I haven't thought about Phineas in a really long time.
I know.
Everything about him is adorable. Maybe he's more of a grandpa than a father, but I think it'll work. He should be the kind of father that loves going on camping trips with you. He would tell you that he used to be a scout and teach you everything there is to know about nature. Together, you could collect badges and discover new things. Oh, he could be like a little scout master, you know, for like a whole group of kids.
Mm-hmm.
I want.
Now,
I want.
I don't think I've scanned him in Animal Crossing yet, and now I'm going to.
I wonder if he wears his badge outfit or if he wears his like balloon man outfit.
Yeah, there's different outfits for sure.
He's a cutie.
Mm-hmm.
I love his mustache.
Summon Sloth said, Leaf. He can teach me how to garden, and he seems like a good listener.
Aw, short and sweet.
Yeah, short and sweet.
That's so cute. Gabriel R says Dobie for sure. He reminds me vaguely of Harry Dean Stanton, who's probably my all-time choice for a TV/movie dad. Someone who's cranky, but with an open mind and a good heart. That's definitely Dobie. Oh my gosh. Wait, who's Harry Dean Stanton? I need to look this up.
I don't know.
Let me see. Harry Dean Stanton is an American actor. Oh, is it the Pretty in Pink dad?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, very cool.
Mm-hmm. Good choice. All right, the next answer is from Elizabeth H, and they said, this is a tough question for me because I lost my dad 10 years ago, and Father's Day will always be a hard day. Animal Crossing New Horizons was my first Animal Crossing game, and the instant I met Blathers, I felt like they captured my sweet dad in owl form. My father was a university professor, and I loved having him as my teacher and mentor growing up. Blathers even uses some of the same phrases my dad did. But the best part, the part that makes me smile every time, is that Blathers is afraid of bugs. And my father was an entomologist.
Oh.
Whenever I'm missing Dad, I boot up Animal Crossing New Horizons and go visit sweet Blathers, and my heart feels just a little more full.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
incredible. I love it. And entomologists, for those who don't know, those are people who study bugs.
Mm-hmm. That's so sweet.
I love that. It's so great. Well, I'm glad you have a little character who can remind you of them in a fond way.
This reminds me that we forgot to say that in New Horizons, in the bug exhibit, there's like a little back room that's like a little research room, and there's a sign that has Nat's face on it, showing that like Blathers is not the one doing the research on these bugs because he's so afraid of them. So Nat comes out and helps Blathers with the bugs. Ugh. It's so
Yeah, I guess
sweet.
he's like getting this little professor type of
Mm-hmm.
characterization in New Horizons.
Yeah. Islander Phoebe says, when I saw this question, my brain immediately started screaming, Wardell! He would be the best
Oh,
adoptive dad. He would bring you home little chocolates from work and sit with you and contemplate life while watching the sunset every evening. He is a big, cuddly gray marshmallow, and I love him so much. This is the best. This is the best answer. I love Wardell.
yep. Nina is Wardell, Team Wardell all the
Yeah.
way.
I'll like marry Wardell and then we'll adopt Phoebe together.
Well, there you go, Phoebe. Hope you enjoy Nina as your new mom.
we'll we'll
Should
we'll
be
do
great.
art at the sunset with Wardell.
Oh, that's great. Sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
Lucy said, I think it would have to be Blathers because he's so sweet and caring. He'd be able to teach me all of the fun creature / fossil facts, and I'd be able to have the best birthday slumber parties in the museum with all my villagers and Auntie
Oh.
Celeste. It would be like an Animal Crossing version of Night at the Museum, but with midnight hot chocolates from the Roost.
Oh my gosh, you can look at all the stars.
It
This
sounds amazing.
this what if they had this as like, you know how in New Leaf you could unlock the tunnel to what's his name? Oh my gosh. The groundhogs. The
Rossetti?
moles. Yes. Rossetti's home. You could like after it rained, it would open like after 8 or 9 p.m. or something like that. I would love for this to be like one of those kind of really rare events that could happen every once in a while. Like you walk in on the museum after a night where it rained or something, and Blathers and Celeste are in there with like little nightcaps on, drinking hot chocolate together. It would be so cute.
Amazing. So adorable. We needed that. Need it to happen now.
Yeah. Moon Feathered says, I would probably want Blathers as my adoptive papa. He'd teach me all sorts of neat things, and I love learning, so he'd be perfect. If I couldn't sleep at night, he could just go on blathering about this and that like a bedtime story. Only problem is, if I called him to squish a spider in my room, he'd probably burn the house down. It's true. It's true, Moon Feathered.
You're moving. That's it.
Yeah. Time to get a new house completely.
Time to get a new house. Yeah.
Blathers would not like to live in Australia.
No, never. Tumeg said, I think I'd want Pete as my dad. I can just picture it. Pelly would be my mom, but Pete and Pelly got divorced when my dad fell in love with the night shift worker Phyllis. My new stepmom is pretty sassy and kinda grumpy. I don't know what my dad sees in her besides her pretty makeup. I live with my mom Pelly and visit my dad Pete on the weekends. Sometimes he takes me on his mail rounds. He tells me he has to keep working hard even on weekends because he owes child support. I still love all my parents no matter what, though, and Pete is a hardworking dad, nonetheless.
We just got a whole movie.
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
This is the slice of life Animal Crossing movie we needed.
We need more answers like this more often. We need to ask the most ridiculous questions so that we can get these incredible answers more often.
This changes everything.
It does. Ugh. All right. Our last one is from Islander M, who says, I have a bit of a headcanon that Spike's my dad in game. He actually reminds me of my granddad who died when I was 12, but I don't really remember much about him as a person. But he was totally a cranky villager. He used to tell us crazy stories about he had been to space in his youth and had been an F1 driver, but he was notoriously bad with technology. He sent a lot of letters, and I'm really glad he did, because even in my abiding memory of him is that he was a grumpy old geezer. I know he loved me when I read them. Spike sends me letters with a lot of silly old man advice as well, and I keep all of them. Sometimes they've come at really weirdly pertinent times and make me slightly emotional. I always feel like in in-game dad is looking out for me. I mean, you guys, this is incredible, all these stories.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for sending in these answers. I really didn't know what to expect with this question, but Nina said it, and I was just like, yep, that's the one. That's what we have to ask everybody. And
Man.
I don't know if you knew I was going to actually take it, but of course I would.
Well, I just think this shows like how special of a game Animal Crossing is, because people do have these little headcanons about their characters, and it really fills a hole sometimes when there's one needs to be filled.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So next week's question, it's going to be a little bit easier, but definitely going forward, we're going to ask weird stuff like this. But do you prefer indoor decorating or outdoor decorating?
And tell us how it has changed your life.
Yeah, tell us why exactly it's the most important thing ever to you.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. If you're sad to see us go, join us over on Discord. You can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Nina and me. Want to support Haken in a bigger way and tell us your answers to the Haken Islander Corner? Head over to patreon.com/ChuyPlays. $1 goes a long way to making this show even better and includes tons of goodies for you to enjoy. Get a special role on Discord, read a monthly newsletter, and get many other great rewards. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. If you're listening on YouTube, who do you want your adoptive father to be in Animal Crossing? Reviews really help the show get discovered by more people. Please leave a review on your platform of choice and let us know how we're doing. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
See you all next time.